Hello, happy Wednesday. I am having technical difficulties, so bear with me, guys. But today I want to talk about preventing the importance of prevention. Today I should elaborate more on that, but I want to really talk about preventing health issues and premature death by adopting a plant-based eating approach. So if you are interested in eating more about a plant-based diet approach because of maybe a history of heart disease or some other health issue that you have in your history of your family or something that you realize that you need to prevent it, but you have no idea where to start or what to do. So if that is the case, then you are in the right place and you'll really want to hear this. So why am I bringing up this topic? Well, many of you know that have been following me. I really am really passionate about what I do. I've been a vegan for 4 years and I passionately believe in the benefits of eating a plant-based diet. And if you've seen my previous videos, I am moving more towards a whole food plant-based approach to my eating habits. So really what that's about is what that means is I really want to start eating less restrictive and really eat more plant-based, meaning just make sure that I'm getting more plants in my diet because I know that's what's healthy for me to do, but not to be so restrictive and call it a diet, because I really want to find a way to eat or something that I can do throughout my whole lifetime that is an approach, is a lifestyle, is not just a diet, right? So I really feel that, I believe in a lot of the environmental animal issues that surround being a vegan, but it also is very restrictive diet. So that's why I'm moving more towards talking more about this plant-based eating approach. So that is what I mean. Just eating more plants in your diet. But why I'm bringing up this topic today is I went to a youth services meeting today with our county, and the county executive came, and hi Jeremy, thanks for joining. He came to our meeting and he talked about he talked about the main issues that they're dealing with in the county right now, and one of the main issues right now is legalization of marijuana. So once the state legalizes it, then the counties have to make the choice whether they want to opt in or opt out for the retail sales of marijuana. Now, as you guys probably know, this could create a issue for our county for a lot of other organizations that are helping our youth. And what we're seeing, or what they have been seeing with marijuana usage, is it's being used as a coping mechanism. And we know there's side effects, there's consequences of that, and that's not good. But the county executive is very, a little bit unsure about what he should do, because he really sees both sides. Whether they opt in or opt out, does it really matter? Because, they're gonna find a way to find weed and get it, right? But then if you do and you make it become more readily available, if it's sold at certain locations, then you're saying, you're allowing it to be more easily available, and it's really just about money. So really, if there's, we know people's gonna buy it, it's going to make money. So the other part of it is, well, if they're gonna get it anyways, let's just make it readily available and make money off of it. So there's really two sides of the story. So I know I'm probably going more in depth on this a little bit more than I want to, because this isn't what I want to focus on today. But I want to just mention this because we had a discussion today about, what I think we need to be doing, or what somebody said in the group, that what we need to be focusing on is prevention, preventing marijuana usage and really educating our youth about the side effects of it, and figuring out why are kids using this as a coping mechanism. What can we do to help to prevent it, right? So just like marijuana, I feel that, and many of you may have a strong opinion on that, so I am just I'm trying to stay biased and just seeing both sides, not making an opinion of this. But what I'm saying is that this really relates to anything else in our lives. There's a lot of different things that we should be proactive instead of reactive. And what I've seen with our healthcare system, which is why this is actually a very passionate topic for me, that I'm very frustrated with the way our healthcare system is set up, because I feel that it's more focused on, just like what I was talking about with the marijuana issue, is it's more focused on treatment, because that is where you make the money. That is where they make money. Doctors give drugs, and drugs are expensive, and it makes a lot of money, right? And there's not a lot of funding in prevention of health problems. And because of that, and then that's because there's no money in preventing things. That doesn't make money preventing issues. But we know that it is so important. And then the other part of that you may not even think about, but the other part of prevention is, most of us, and you could be just like this too, that we just live day by day. We're not thinking about tomorrow, or in a year from now, or 5 years from now. I know recently I just went on a Key West trip, and I'm so glad I went, and I ran a half marathon. And I remember my mom asking me almost a year ago about going on this trip. And I remember telling her no, I wasn't going to go, because I couldn't even think about a year from now, because I was trying to figure out my life right then and trying to put things together, find a place to live, find another job. I was stressed out. I was like, Mom, I got to focus on today. I got to focus on now, right? I can't focus on down the way. But what happens if we're, say our finances, say we're not thinking long term, and we don't put money into our retirement? Are we ever going to retire and enjoy the rest of our life? Or are we going to have to keep working until we die, right? So you have to somewhat, I think it's important to be present in the moment with family and what you're doing. But it's also important to think long term, to think enough long term where you can have enough money saved up, where you can retire, where you can prevent certain diseases from happening, so you can live a long, fulfilling life. Because who really wants to have their life shortened? I don't think anyone really does or really wants that. I mean, maybe there's some people, you might not want to live a long time because you don't want to get old. And it can be really sad because you don't want to be in a nursing home, but that doesn't have to happen. I do believe if you take care of yourself, and it's not just based on genes, but if you take care of yourself, there are 70, 80-year-olds that I see running marathons and ultra marathons, and it's truly inspirational and amazing, because there's so many 70, 80-year-olds that I feel like I've met when I worked in a nursing home or intern there, that just were nowhere nearly the shape that I've seen these other 70, 80-year-olds. So it's really, really amazing. And I just saw Jeremy's comment. Yes, great. Yes, Jeremy, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome that you know that you have to get your diabetes under control, because you don't want to be on medication the rest of your life. And that's a really good point. Who wants to be on medication the rest of your life? If you don't want to be on medications the rest of your life, then I would say you need to find a dietitian. You need to find a nutrition coach that will help you figure things out to find a lifestyle approach that you can sustain throughout the rest of your life so you never have to go on that medication again. That should be the goal, because as Jeremy, you probably know this, but I found when I worked in a hospital, I was very frustrated about this too, that many of the patients that I saw were older, so they were older adults, but a lot of the patients that I saw there in the hospital did not know the side effects of their medications. They had been on medications for a really long time, and they had been on medications for so long that it had affected their organs, so it affected their liver. And I remember them telling me, like, well, why would my doctor not tell me this? Why did I never know about this? You, in this day and age, in our generation, in 2019, you need to advocate for your health. You have to. That is just the way our healthcare system is set up. But you have to be the advocate for your health. And you have to ask questions. You have to do research. And there are experts. There are experts like me as a dietitian that study food and the biological process, and we take all those scientific classes. I'm not really a scientist, but I took all those classes to get through nutrition, and it is very, very scientific. But I try my best to make it as simple and basic as possible, even though it's very complex. But I really think getting the main nutrition messages out there is what's most important. And prevention, I believe, is so, so important. And that is one reason why I didn't feel, really like working in a clinical type setting. I really wanted to work more on the prevention side. That is when I got in nutrition. That is where I wanted to go. And I do. I work in a community nutrition program full time. And that is really about prevention, is really what it is. We're just educating on basic nutrition. I'm not doing any medical nutrition therapy one-on-one with clients. So we're really focusing on prevention. But that said, there are people, and you might be one of them, but along with, wanting to get better, a lot of times, that may not happen or you may not want to change until you get that diagnosis. So what I really feel like with prevention, it should be before you get that diagnosis of diabetes or heart disease. And sometimes not always that is the case. And, say you're on the other side, that does not mean that you still can't make a change now and reverse it. I do know, with working with diabetes patients and a little bit that I have done in my experience, it can be reversed and you can get off those medications. It does not have to be a life sentence and does not have to be something that you struggle. But it still may be something that you always need to be aware of, but you certainly can reverse it. So, was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Yes, there was. Okay, so one more thing. So you guys probably already know a lot of the specific things about what plant-based eating can, or you may know this or you may not, but I just wanted to mention the specific health issues that are most prevalent that plant-based diets or plant-based eating approach can certainly reverse or prevent, or I should say prevent certain health problems. So those are heart disease, certain cancers, diabetes, Parkinson's, and even high blood pressure, and there's even more. So those are just a few of them that I know are very common that I wanted to mention that can definitely help if you are interested in learning, more about those certain health issues that plant-based diets can prevent or help. If you've already had that diagnosis, check out the book How Not to Die by Michael Greger. That is a great book, and he really goes into depth with evidence and even his personal, professional experience working with certain patients, and really shows the evidence of helping, giving people a plant-based diet and really how it can help and really showing the evidence. So it's super awesome if you're really into that, and say you have diabetes and you really want to know, well, how can a plant-based diet really help me? Definitely check out that book, because he will, you could just read the chapter. You wouldn't have to read the whole book, but you could just read that chapter, say, on diabetes and plant-based eating, and really gives you a really good perspective and view of that. So definitely check it out if you are interested in really learning about specifics. But I'm very passionate and really believe that prevention is definitely key. And I really do feel that, there's just so many health issues that we could be prevented by just eating whole plant-based foods. And that's what I mean by that is just foods that come out of our garden. So our carrots that we grow, our tomatoes, our fruits, our apples, right? Those foods that come out of the ground, not these processed foods that go to factories and are, all these GMOs. Well, let's just get back to eating food that came out of the ground, right? We've gotten out of that because we've created a food industry to feed more people, because there's just more people and it's just been harder to feed everybody, right? Because we all need to eat. But what if we all had gardens? If we all grew our own garden, we can grow, sometimes if you live in a city, you may not have the space, or maybe you don't have good soil, so you'd have to buy soil. But there's so many neat ways that I've even been learning about gardening, because I work at an extension office, which is awesome. So we have a master gardeners and a horticulture lead. So they do a lot with gardens and helping the community with growing gardens. So there's just so many out there. Just one thing that comes to my mind that I thought was really awesome, this school that I know put up, it's called the High Tunnel. So it's basically like a greenhouse, but it's really awesome, and they can grow foods all year long, even though there's snow, and it doesn't, I think it's all year long. I could be wrong. But they said, even though there's snow, it doesn't fall down or anything. It stays up. It's really, really awesome. And I never even thought you could do something like that. So there's definitely creative ways that people are getting to be able to grow food, especially in the climate that we live in, because I'm in New York, and some of you that live in New York too may know, or may have used to live here, know that right now it is cold and snowy, and it has been very, very cold, which is not ideal temperatures to grow food. So that is why a lot of our food this season comes from right out of state, and unfortunately that can be more expensive because it has to be shipped here. But there are getting to be more ways that we can grow our own food, have greenhouses and things like that. So hi, Sarah. So I hope that was really helpful for all of you, just so you know. And because I have been trying to promote myself, and many of you probably know that I was just away in New York City over the weekend for a mastermind retreat, and I am officially starting my business this month. So if you are interested in doing one-on-one coaching with me and would be interested in, setting up a plant-based eating approach with some more accountability, really needs a coach to just stand by you, even if you know how to do it, but just need somebody to keep you accountable, to just keep you on point, to make sure that you are doing what you need to be doing, and just help provide you support. If that's something that would be helpful to you, and you really realize that you need to make an investment and you need to do this now, because down the road I'm going to be in the hospital or I'm going to die early, but I need to be there for my kids. So if that is you and you would like to work one-on-one, please let me know. Just message me and I could definitely set up a time and we can talk more and figure it out from there. So I hope to hear from you guys all soon, and I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can also let me know. Just message me. Facebook or Instagram is fine. Either way, if I don't get right back to you, I will get back to you in at least 24 hours. So just give me some time to get back to you. So hopefully that was helpful, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Bye. Have a great week.